Hello and welcome to day 26 of Jamb Mathematics in 30 days. Jamb Mathematics in 30 days is a series brought to you by Oya Learn, where we believe that by you dedicating 30 to 45 minutes of your time daily, you can get every necessary tool you need to ace Jamb Mathematics. So this thing of Jamb Math is very difficult to become a thing of the past for you as long as you dedicate that time to get all the necessary tools you need through this series. Now, to those of you that has been part of the series from day one, a big thank you to you. And please keep your comments coming, whatsoever you would like us to handle, any question you would like us to solve, any aspect that we treated lightly and you want us to expatiate on, please put it all in the comment section and we will definitely attend to every one of your comments. And to those who are new to this series, please do well to check out the video from day one up until this moment. You don't want to miss any day. You don't want to skip any of it. It has been packaged very well to ensure that you get your daily dose until you are fully equipped with everything you need to ace Jamb Mathematics. So today being day 26, we're going to be looking at some practice questions that has been set by seasoned professionals in the field of mathematics. The questions are going to look a lot more like the Jamb Mathematics questions that you are facing daily, and some of them might even be something you have seen before, and then we'll solve them, and you please follow as we solve it. I'll be giving you tricks, I'll be giving you some tips on how to solve questions like that, and then in the end we'll have a well-rounded package for the day. So if you're ready, get your material set and then let's solve some questions. This question says, if the mean of 4, y, 8 and 10 is 7, find y. Now, what we usually do to find the mean of a data like this is that we add up everything we have and then divide it by the number of entries. So we see we have 4, which is 1, y, the second, 8, the third, and 10, which is the fourth one. So there's 4 entries in this data set. So to find the mean is 7 already given, should be 4 plus y plus 8 plus 10, all divided by 4. Now when we cross multiply at this point, we'll have 7 times 4 to give us 28 equals, now 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 10 we have 22, so 22 plus y. So let's make y the subject. Y therefore becomes 28. Then when plus 22 comes here, it becomes minus 22. So y equals 28 minus 22, that gives us 6. So the correct option is A. Now let's simplify this indices problem. When you have a problem like this, what you want to do is to immediately find a way to eliminate this fractional power, right? So in this case, I say I have 1 over 2, so I have to make sure I make this square. And this one has to be cube, this has to be square, this one has to be raised to power of 4. That way I can eliminate the fractional power. So for this case, to make it square, it will have to be 5 squared raised to the power of minus half. Then we multiply that by this, which is actually 3 cubed, multiplied by 1 over 3. Then, now take note, you have to deal with this separately from this. In this case, we are having 11 raised to the power of 2. Then we multiply that by, now this is 5 raised to the power of 4, multiplied by raised to the power of minus 1 over 4. Now you see 4 cancels 4, 2 cancel 2, 3 cancel 3, 2 cancel 2. So what we have here is 5 raised to the power minus 1 times 3 raised to the power 1 plus 11 raised to the power of minus 1 times 5 raised to the power of minus 1. Now, here what we have is 1 over 5 times 3 plus here 1 over 11 times 1 over 5. Now, what this means is that we are having 3 over 5 plus this is 1 over 55. So LCM here is 55. Now 5 in 55 is 11. 11 times 3 we have 33 plus 55 here is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So what we have is 34 over 55. And when we check the option, that is option A. In this question, we have to find the inverse of this matrix here. Now, a quick trick you can use to get your answer from this is just immediately know that to get the inverse of this, you first need the determinant, then 1 over that determinant multiplied by then the adjunct of this. And for adjunct, it means 5 and 4 will switch places, and 3 and 6 will then carry the negative sign. So we know that in our answer, we should be having -3, -6. Now it could be over something else, right? However, when we get the determinant of this, then we can know whether we will divide it by anything. So let's think. The determinant here is 5 times 4 minus 6 times 3. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 3 is 18. And 20 minus 18 will give us 2. So we're supposed to divide everything by 2. And 4 divided by 2 will give you 2, because this will switch places. So we'll have 2 here. And then we'll have 5 over 2 here. Then this will be minus 3 over 2. Then this is minus 6 over 2, which is minus 3, right? So from there, we can already tell that our answer is B. But let me show you the workings here. Determinant of 5, 3, 6, and 4. That is 5 times 4 minus 6 times 3. So this gives us 20 minus 18, which is 2. Now the adjunct equals, now flip it, so we have 4 here, then this will be minus 3, minus 6, and this will be 5. So now inverse would then be 1 over 2, 4 minus 3 minus 6, and then 5. So we see that this will be 4 over 2, which is 2. Then this is minus 3 over 2, minus 6 over 2, that's minus 3. And then 5 over 2. So still the same. So our answer is B. In this question here, we see that if 314 base 10 minus 256 base 7 equals 340 of base x, find x. So we need to find this unknown base. Now, one thing you want to do quickly is to bring everything to base 10. This is already in base 10, so we don't bother about that. But we'll bring this one to base 10, and we'll bring this also to base 10. So 2, 5, 6, base 7 to base 10. That will mean we are having 2 times 7 plus 5 times 7 plus 6 times 7. So this is 0, 1, 2. This will give us 49. And 49 times 2 would give us 8. Carry 1, 8. That's 98. 98 plus 5 times 7, that's 35, plus 6 times 1, that's 6. So let's add it together. This will give us 41. So 9, 139. So what we have here is 139 base 10. And then this would be 340 base x will now be 3 times x plus 4 times x. You can ignore this 0, because 0 times anything is still 0. So this will be the one carrying power of 0. So this is 1 and 2. So this will be 2, 1. So what we have here is 3x squared plus 4x. Now let's put everything together, starting with the right hand side. So we would have 3x squared plus 4x. Now plus, this equals, on the other side is where we have 314. Then minus, when we converted this, we got 139. So this will give you 3x squared plus 4x equals 175. Now bring 175 to the other side, and then we have 3x squared plus 4x minus 175 equals 0. Now we solve this quadratic equation. I will be using factorization method, but you can go on to use any other method that you are familiar with. Now the factors I need in this case is 25 and 21, because when you multiply them together, they will give you what you get when you multiply 3 by 175. But 25 minus 21 will give you 4. So what we'll have here will be 3x squared minus 21x plus 25x minus 175 equals 0. So when we group like this, what these two have in common is 3x, leaving you with x minus 7. and what these two have in common is plus 25. So that will leave us with x minus 7 as well equals 0. So that is 3x plus 25 equals 0, or x minus 7 equals 0. Now, quick tip. When you're looking for the base, in this case, you know you can never have a negative base. So no matter what happens here, because 25 will come here to become negative 25, so our answer here will be negative. So we know that this cannot be the answer. So we only progress with x minus 7. So if x minus 7 equals 0, that is x equals 0 plus 7, which is plus 7. So our answer is option A. Now, this is a question on binary operation, and we are given that this binary operation is defined by this here. M star n equals mn plus m minus n. So using that rule here, we have to find the value of this. Now, in binary operation, you can only deal with 2 inputs at a time. So we'll deal with this in the brackets, and then whatever we get, we'll expand that with 3. So solution. So starting with 2 and 4, this will give us, following the rule we have here, that will be 2 times 4 plus 2 minus 4. Now, 2 times 4 will give us 8 plus 2 minus 4, and then this would give us 6. Now, we'll then have 3 and 6, which is the result of the bracket here. So which implies we are going to be having 3 times 6 plus 3 minus 6. Now this will give us 18. So plus 3 minus 6. And then we're going to be having 15 as our final answer. So the correct option to go for here is C. Let's simplify this third problem. So we have that sod 27 plus 3 over sod 3 would be what? So to simplify this, we know for this part we have to rationalize, but this can go a little further to give us sod 9 times 3. So plus, this would then be 3 sod 3 over 3. Because when we multiply this by sod 3, it will be 3 times sod 3, which will give you 3 sod 3. And then sod 3 times sod 3 will give you 3. Now, with what we have here, this can then be simplified to sod 9, which is 3, then sod 3 plus 3 sod 3 over 3. So taking the LCM as 3, which would mean this is over 1. 1 here is 3. 3 times 3 sod 3 will give you 9 sod 3 plus 3 sod 3. Now this will mean we have 9 plus 3, which is 12. 12 sod 3 divided by 3. Now 3 will go in 12 4 times, so we get 4 sod 3. So the correct option to go for here is option A. Now this question says, given that P has elements of this in the set 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, and the elements in set Q are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So we have to determine the relationship between P and Q. So we see different options here. Option A is saying that P intersection Q is a null set, meaning they do not have anything in common. B is saying that P is a subset of Q, meaning everything in P, you will find it in Q. And option C says Q is a subset of P, which implies that everything in Q would be in P. And then option D says P and Q are the same set. But when we look at the set provided here, you see that they do not have anything in common at all. So that means that the option to go for here is option A, which is that P intersection Q is a null set.
Go.
If y equals x sine x, find dy dx. So we see two functions here multiplying into each other. So the rule we're going to apply is product rule. And product rule states that if y equals uv, then dy dx equals v du dx plus u dv dx. So let's work with that. So we say let x equals u, and then du dx would be, now that would be 1. And then we can then say let sine x equals v, thereby our dv dx will then be, now when we find the first derivative of sine x, you get cos x. So applying the rule, dy dx will therefore be, now v is sine x, and then du dx is 1, so multiplied by 1, plus u is x, then dv dx, which is cos x. Now let's expatiate. Dy dx therefore becomes sine x times 1, that is sine x, plus x times cos x, that will give you x cos x. So dy dx is sine x plus x cos x, that is option B. Now this question says the amount A to which a principal P amounts at rate R% compound interest for n years is given by the formula A equals P into 1 plus R over 100 close bracket power of n. Now find A if P is 126, R is 4, and then n is 2. So to solve this, all we need to do is substitute their values into the formula. So A would therefore be P, which is 126 into 1 plus 4 over 100 power of n, which is 2. So what we have here is 126 into 1 plus 4 over 100 is 0.04, so squared. Now this will give us 126 multiplied by 1.04 squared. Now you can square this using your calculator. So 126 times 1.04 squared will give us 1.0816. And when we multiply these two together, what we are going to get is 136.2816. Now when we compare this with the options we have here, we see that the closest is B when we bring it to one decimal place. So what we will have here is 136.30. So our option here is option B. In this question, we're told a woman bought a grinder for 60,000 naira. She sold it at a loss of 15%. Now, how much did she sell it? So we are actually looking for the selling price of the grinder in this case. So to solve, we're going to use percentage loss formula. And percentage loss formula states that the percent loss, which is 15%, which we write as 15 over 100, equals the cost price. The cost price is 60,000 minus selling price over cost price. So at this point, we can then go on to say, when we take 60 here, we'll have 60,000 times 15 over 100 equals 60,000 minus selling price. So from here, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So we have to do 15 times 600. So 600 multiplied by 15, that will give us 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 6, that's 30. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 6, and that is 6. So when we add it up, we have 0, 0, 0, and 9. So we have 9,000 on the left-hand side here equals 60,000 minus selling price. So to make selling price the subject of this formula, and take note, this is a negative sign. So to make it positive, I have to bring it to the other side. And then we say selling price equals, we had 60,000 on the right-hand side initially. Now plus 9,000 coming there will become minus 9,000. So the selling price is therefore 51,000. So the correct option is C. Let us rationalize 5 divided by 2 minus 3. In this kind of question, when you look at the kind of options that we have here, we are saying 3 into 2 plus sort 5, 2 into 3 plus sort 5, and then 5 into 2 plus sort 3, and then 3 sort 2 plus 1. From what we have here, since we know we have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugate sort of the denominator, and the conjugate sort of this denominator will be 2 plus sort 3, the most likely answer is option C. However, let's check. So that is, we're supposed to have 5 multiplied by 2 plus sort 3 all over 2 minus sort 3 into 2 plus sort 3. Now when we see the numerator here gives us 5 open bracket 2 plus sort 3, which we already see in option C, divided by, now here we have 2 times 2 to give us 4. 2 times sort 3 will give you plus 2 sort 3. Minus sort 3 times 2 will give you minus 2 sort 3. And then minus sort 3 times plus sort 3 will give you minus 3. So we see this becomes 0. And 4 minus 3 is 1. And anything divided by 1 remains. So 5 into 2 plus sort 3. So the answer is still C. In this question, we are told that in this diagram, POQ is the diameter of the circle. And if angle PSR, that is PSR, the whole of this angle here is 145, find X. So to find the value of X, one thing we can see for sure here is that this angle X is made by RPQ. And when we consider this point as well, I can just make this like this. Okay, we also see that it's this same segment that makes this angle, so RSQ. So we can say that in our solution, RPQ should be the same thing as RSQ. The angles there. And this is because they are what? Same segment. If that's the case, then let's find this angle here, and then we should have X as well. So to find this angle, we also consider PSQ. Now PSQ is supposed to be 90 degrees. Now the reason is because you see that what we have here is a diameter, and the angle of a semicircle is 90 degrees. So angle of semicircle is 90 degrees. So if that is the case, to get this remaining part, so the RSQ is going to give us 145 degrees minus 90 degrees. And we do that, we get 55 degrees. So therefore, X is also 55 degrees. So the correct option here is A. In this question, we are told if y equals 3 cos 4x, then the y dx equals, that is, we have to find the first derivative of this function. So in our solution, we're going to break it down to make it easier. However, you could have done it in a straight line, but to make it easier, this is what we do. We take y to equals uv, which implies that dy dx is supposed to be v du dx plus u dv dx. So let's start with u. So u equals 3 and du dx will be 0. Now if du dx is 0, automatically we know v du dx will also be 0. Okay, so that is, this tends to 0. So what we have to focus on at this point is u dv dx. So let's work with that. So v equals cos 4x. Now we have to solve this. We say let 4x equals p, which implies that dp dx would be 4. Okay, so we can now say that v equals cos p and dv dp would then be minus sine p. So to find dv dx, we have to multiply these two together. Okay, that will be dp dx times dv dp. And when we multiply these two together, we get minus 4 sine p. And p, we have said let that be what? 4x. So we have minus 4 sine 4x. So dy dx will then be, now coming to this, what is u? U is 3 multiplied by dv dx. And dv dx is what? Minus 4 sine 4x. Now when we multiply this, 3 times minus 4 gives us minus 12. So minus 12 sine 4x, which makes the answer option D. Find the derivative of y equals sine, open bracket, 2x cubed plus 3x minus 4. Now, to find the derivative of this, let's simplify it. We say let 2x cubed plus 3x minus 4 equals u, right? And then du dx will be, now let's find the first derivative of the function u in this case. So 3 comes down, 3 times 2, that will give you 6. So x, 3 minus 1, that's 2, plus the first derivative of 3x will give you 3. And then derivative of a constant is 0. So du dx is 6x squared plus 3. Now, y therefore becomes sine u, which implies that dy du would be, the first derivative of sine u will give you cos u. So bring them together. Dy dx will then be du dx multiplied by dy du. Now, what is du dx? We have gotten that here as 6x squared plus 3. So 6x squared plus 3, put that in bracket. And what is du dy du? Dy du is cos u, so cos. Now, what is u? U is 2x cubed plus 3x minus 4. So from the options we have, the correct answer is option C. Calculate the log to base 9 of 3 raised to power negative 4 multiplied by 9 squared multiplied by 81 raised to power negative 1. So what this means is that we are having log to base 9 of 3 raised to power minus 4 multiplied by 9 raised to power 2 multiplied by 81 raised to power minus 1. Now, there are two ways to go about this. You could go on to resolve all of this first and then bring it back and then resolve the final answer. Or you could just break it bit by bit. Now, to break it bit by bit, what you can do is to say log to base 9. Now, remember we are multiplying here. So we can make it individual logarithms to base 9 of each of them when we add them. So it will be log to base 9 of 3 raised to power minus 4 plus log to base 9 of 9 squared plus log to base 9 of 81 raised to power minus 1. So this way, it should be a lot more easier to solve. But if you are confident with working with numbers like this, well, go ahead. You will still get the same answer as what we are going to get here. So in this case here, we have to make this a 9 since we are working in base 9. So we can break this down and say 3 squared to the power of negative 2, which will give us 9 raised to power minus 2. So this can be written as log base 9 of 9 raised to power minus 2 plus, now this can be written, let's leave this as it is, log to base 9 of 9 squared. And then this can be written as log to base 9 of, now remember 81 is 9 squared. So 9 squared will be 2 times minus 1, so we have minus 2 at this point. Now let's apply the law of logarithm where the power will come to the left hand side here. Now you have negative 2 log 9 base 9 plus 2 log 9 base 9. Then minus 2 coming here will become minus 2 log 9 base 9. Now log 9 base 9, log 9 base 9, log 9 base 9, that is all ones. So what we have is minus 2 plus 2 minus 2. Minus 2 plus 2, that's 0, minus 2, and then we have minus 2. So the correct option here is C. Evaluate integral to upper limit of pi over 2 and lower limit of minus pi over 2 of cos x dx. Solution. Now, when you integrate cos x, you're going to get sine x, right? So since we have limits, there's no plus c in this case. We just indicate our upper limit, pi over 2, and our lower limit, minus pi over 2. Now, pi over 2, take note of this. Pi over 2, when converted to degree, would give you 90 degrees. So in that case, we'll be having when x is 90 and when x is minus 90. And that will give us sine. When x is, so let's put it as pi over 2 first. Then minus sine when x is minus pi over 2. So applying this now, we then have sine 90 minus sine minus 90. Now sine 90 will give us 1, minus sine minus 90 will give us minus 1. Minus times minus becomes plus, so 1 plus 1, and our answer is 2. So option C. Evaluate 27 to the power of 1 over 3 minus 8 to the power of minus 1 to the power of 1 over 3 as well. All divided by 16 to the power of 2 over 4 multiplied by 2. Now, what you have to do in this case is to ensure that you bring the base here to have the power as what we have as the denominator of what this initial base is carrying as a power. What do I mean by that? That is, if I'm going to write 27, I'll write it as something cubed. And a number that when cubed will give you 27 is 3. So what we have is 3 cubed. So 1 over 3 minus 8 can be written as 2 cubed. Okay, so 1 over 3 over. Now in this place, it has to be power of 4. So that will be 2 raised to the power of 4, all with the power of 2 over 4, multiplied this time by 2. Now let's see what this gives us. So 3 here cancel 3. 3 to the power of 1 will give you 3. Minus 3 cancel 3. 2 to the power of 1 will give you 2. Over 4 cancels 4, 2 to the power of 2, and that's 4 times 2. So what does this give us? 3 minus 2, that's 1. 4 times 2, and that's 8. So our answer is 1 over 8, option C. The sum to infinity of a geometric progression is negative 1 over 10. And the first term is negative 1 over 8. Find the common ratio of the progression. Now, when you're working with GP and you're finding sum to infinity, what that implies, you know that in this case, your common ratio has to be a negative number. You cannot have positive number as your common ratio for you to be able to find the sum to infinity. That's one of the rules there though. However, the equation we use in this case is that sum to infinity is given as a over 1 minus r. Now, let's apply this formula so that we can get the value of r. But take note that sum to infinity in this case, according to this question, is minus 1 over 10. The first term is a, and that is given as minus 1 over 8. So let's plug it in into this equation. So from here, we can then say sum to infinity, which is minus 1 over 10, equals minus 1 over 8, all divided by 1 minus r. Cross multiply. 1 minus r equals minus 1 over 8 divided by minus 1 over 10. So 1 minus r is therefore minus 1 over 8 times 10 over 1. Remember, minus sign is also here. So minus times minus will give you plus. So 1 minus r equals plus. So what we have here is 1 times 10, 10 over 8 times 1, that's 8. So to find r r will therefore be, now that is me taking negative r to this point. So that is 10 plus 10 over 8 rather will come to this other side here. So we have 1 over 1 minus 10 over 8. So r therefore becomes, take LCM, that is 8. 1 here, 8. 8 times 1, 8. Minus 8 here, 1. 1 times 10, 10. So r is therefore 8 minus 10. That's minus 2 over 8. Divide both sides by 2 now. So minus 2 divided by 2 will give you minus 1 over 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So negative 1 over 4. Option B. Now in this question, we are told that two lines are represented by this equation. There are two straight lines. The first line has the equation 3y equals 4x minus 1. And then the second line is ky equals x plus 3. And that the two straight lines are perpendicular to each other. So we have to find the value of k. Now, from our knowledge of coordinate geometry, we know that when you have two lines that are perpendicular to each other, the relationship is such that the slope of the first line will be negative 1 over the slope of the second line. So we can reverse this and also say that m2 equals minus 1 over m1. Okay, so let's try to find the slope of the first equation. So from the first equation, 3y equals 4x minus 1. So this implies that y will be 4x over 3 minus 1 over 3. So m1 is 4 over 3. So to get m2, that will be minus 1 divided by 4 over 3. That will give us minus 3 over 4. So since we know that this will then be minus 3 over 4, what do we then do? We go on to get the value of k. So how do we get the value of k here? So we go to the equation of the second line, which states that y equals x over k plus 3. So let me take this to this point here now. So in this point here, the slope here will be m2 would be 1 over k. So, and 1 over k equals m2 that we have calculated here to be minus 3 over 4. So to get k, I flip both sides of this equation. So when I flip this, I get k equals, now flip this, you get minus 4 over 3. So k is minus 4 over 3 as we see in option A. Now this question says, find the remainder when x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 3 is divided by x squared plus 1. Now, it might be a little bit tricky to divide straight, but I promise you, once you follow it carefully, you won't miss it. So what we have here is we are dividing x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 3. And then we are dividing by x squared plus 1. So this way, we should get a remainder in the end. So what we are going to do is this. First, we look for a number, what we multiply by x squared to give us x cubed, and that is x. So x times x squared will give you x cubed. And the same x times 1 will give you plus x. Now, we can't put that directly here, so we'll come and put it here, plus x. Now, this will just add 0x squared here to make it complete, and then this is minus 3. So this is, there's nothing here, so it will be minus 0 or plus 0 as it is. So let's subtract. At this point here, what happens is we just say x cubed minus x cubed, that's 0. Now, if you didn't put this here, you could have just brought this down, which will still be the same thing as minus 2x squared. But in this case, we have to subtract. So 3x minus x will give you plus 2x. And then this one can also come down if we do not factor the 0. So that will give you minus 3. Now, what can go again? Minus 2 can go. So minus 2 times x squared. That will give us minus 2x squared, right? And then minus 2 times plus 1 will give us minus 2. We can't put that here, so we'll put it here, minus 2. It means this one will have to come down as it is. So minus here. This will give you 0. When we bring this down, we have 2x. Then minus 3 minus minus 2 will give us minus 3 plus 2. And that will give us minus 1. So this is our remainder. 2x minus 1. So in that case, our remainder is option A. If you're here to subscribe to the channel, please, I want to encourage you to do so, and also click the notification icon. That way, whenever we put out a new content, you will be alerted. And folks, I also want to tell you to keep going on with this same challenge on the Exam Fund app. Exam Fund, XAMFUN. It's available on Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store. Download the app, install it, and register. And also take part in the Jamb Mathematics in 30 Days challenge going on there to win amazing prizes. And beyond the challenge, there's still so many interesting quizzes, so many interesting you can even challenge another player on the app and win as many coins as possible to go on to convert your coin into real money. So it's a very enjoyable app. Trust me, all you need to do is download and play, and you will definitely enjoy it. Well, I'll see you in the next video.